Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there. It just randomly shut off. But the footage is still there from before. I can see it, so it is what it is. We're just going to go back into it, as I said. I'll keep reading the rest of the verse. This is the book of Deuteronomy Chapter 28. And we'll start at verse 22. The Most High shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning. Alright, going into these various diseases, which we're going to go into a little bit. The news, and that New York, they passed a new bill, or new legislation. They're moving out orders and edict. Alright, where if you don't have the thing, you can't work inside the medical system anymore. If you don't get stabbed and jabbed up, they don't want you working there no more. You know, I have family members that work at Woodhull Hospital that gladly cut people off their job and cut them off payroll because they didn't have the thing. Alright, and I'm talking in codes for now. Maybe a little bit later into the video, then I'll be able to actually speak my mind. And I don't really enjoy having to do it, but I want the video to go out. I want the message to get out there to the whole elect. Alright, so we do what we have to do. Alright? And with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, they shall pursue thee until thou perish. What is that talking about? It's Edomites. With the sword, with diseases, alright, with various ailments. And now we know that happened during the time of the Dark Ages. You know, we got the photos right here. The time of the Dark Ages, when our people ruled all the areas around Europe, West Europe, Eastern Europe, parts of Eastern Europe, because you had Khazars and other Edomites down there as well. And they had certain, governing positions, but they were still tributary unto us. They still obeyed us. All right, they feared us. But during the time period when we got the Black Death, that was really one of the starting periods when Jake's rulership started to end. Alright, because those diseases were fucking them up, pertaining to the curses. And we're still dealing with those diseases to this day. Our people getting cancer, our people getting stressed out. Doctors, these Edomite doctors, would try and say, oh, the reason why the so-called black men, so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American is getting cancer and all these diseases is because of the American system of racism. No, it's not that. It's the Most High. Because all these other Edomites and other nations are dealing with the same, well, not same, but a little bit less. They're still dealing with racism in this fucking country, but they're not getting cancers all the damn time. They're not getting all these diseases all the damn time. Not like our people are. Alright, so we're just gonna, without further ado, we're just gonna go right into the news articles. Alright, so hold on, Aki. So yeah, as we all know, that vaccine shit, the thing mandate came out with the hospitals, and that deadline came recently. They cut people off from payroll. Alright, so you people in there, you gotta make that choice. So this is RT.com. U.S. Supreme Court denies request by New York City school teachers to block COVID-19 jab up mandate. Alright? A group of New York City teachers won't be getting the legal relief they sought from an order requiring them to be vaccinated against the 19, as the U.S. Supreme Court has summarily denied the request to block the mandate. It's you Jakes out there that are in there, to you Israelites, the people that you know that you're Israelites, that you're the sons of Jacob, pertaining to this sign, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, as well as the confusion you face. Alright, you can't give up because you lost your job. Alright? Because your teacher job is going to be gone. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Alright? Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Alright, what is our righteousness? These scriptures. Alright, we can prove that easily, of course, by using the scriptures. How else are we going to prove it? Alright? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, I'll start at 6 weeks. Let's start at 5. Alright, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High by power commanded you, that you should do so in the land where you go to possess it. Alright, that's really going into the entire earth. We're going to possess the entire earth. You know, back then, okay, Moses told us that, but he didn't know, or maybe he had limited knowledge that we were going to go off. I believe that he probably did know, but most I probably showed him certain things that we're going to go off and we weren't going to keep those commandments. Because we needed Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai wasn't on the scene yet. Alright? Because all those Levitical offerings, Levitical sacrifices, those were only a shadow of what was to come in Yahweh Shai. Alright? That priesthood, Yahweh Shai is our high priest. Okay? So you know we were told to keep these commandments and lands that we're going to possess them. Alright, we already knew, the Most High already had it planned out that we were going to go off. And we were going to use our power and our judgment. We're going to have our judgment be placed upon us for going off. Alright? Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Alright, this is our wisdom and our understanding. This is our righteousness, the scriptures. Alright? Breaking down the scriptures, you know, that we shouldn't, that we shouldn't allow people to become homosexuals, that we shouldn't allow women to become lesbians, that we're not supposed to whore and slut out our women like our people are doing today, which is why we get scourges. You got all these fucking niggas out here fucking selling our women, making them prostitutes, selling them to these Edomites, these damn devils. Alright, you got our people serving these damn devils, our women flocking to Esau and Edom. Alright, trying to have babies with them, trying to do whatever they can do to try and make money. You know? You got it all, man. Which here, all these statutes say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Alright, and they do that. When they see us out here on these highways and byways, they may not admit it. They may not admit it openly, but in their mind, they're like, dang, them guys are some smart dudes. You know, but I mean, I just showed you last camp I did. You know, the two Jakes came up, and they're like, wow, I like what you're doing here. You know, that's the spirit. Because they know what they're doing is wrong. I had to tell the younger guy, you know, you gotta repent, man, off that witchcraft. What you mean, voodoo? Man, get that voodoo shit out of here, man. That's not our statutes and commandments. Alright, there's only one power. Which we'll go into that too. We'll go hit a little bit of the laws. And once again, it's just we gonna hit, you know, some you know, whatever it is, man, because hey, you know, just today, I'm just in the spirit, and you know, we'll don't really have an exact plan, just some various news and various different topics, you know. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Alright, this actually happened. Alright, the Most High brought the Israelites, alright, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of Egypt. Alright, that's proven that we're not Ham. We're not the same people. We're not the Egyptians. Alright, forgive me a little crack of the voice, you know. But we're the so-called we're called the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. That's biblical prophecy. Alright, because in the curses talked about how we will be called a proverb and a byword. Alright, we're called niggers. We're called spicks. Alright, we're called all these abominable names, Native Americans. I mean, they call the Native Americans red. The Native Americans are not red. They're dark skinned, they're brown. Alright, they're variations of the color brown. Ruddy. Alright? But the Most High brought us out of alright, this place here, America, is spiritual. But what's talking about in this chapter is talking about literal Egypt. Alright, as actual history, because this is the book of Exodus. Alright, but America is also spiritually called Egypt and Sodom and Gomorrah, which I may go into that as well. Verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Alright, that little kid came up here on some nonsense talking about some voodoo. Alright, off some bullshit, man. Alright, we're not called to serve no voodoo or hoodoo gods. The fuck is that, man? We ain't gonna serve no fucking Baal or this fake image of Jesus Christ. Alright, that's an abomination. Jesus Christ isn't even his name. There's no letter J in the Hebrew. Alright, that shit came out the Yiddish. Alright, and the letter J didn't even come out until the Renaissance era. Alright, but back to that Yiddish. Alright, which I have the book right here, we can go into it. You know, I don't write this out, but before I get that, you know, we keep it in order. You know, doing that little video with the brother yesterday, you know, it helped me out with that, man. There's always got to be order out here when we out here on the highways and byways. Alright, you know, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, let all things be done decently and in order. Alright? So if we find it, we'll go into it. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, and we'll start at verse 3. And I will give power unto my two witnesses. All right, those two witnesses, they represent the northern and the southern kingdom. All right, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothes and sackcloth. All right. But you know, when you read in I'll actually start from the top, because this is really, I gotta give you the whole thing. So we'll start from the top. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 1. And it was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High and the altar, and them that worship therein. All right, so pretty much get the number. All right, number the people. All right, review them, look at them. All right, examine them. Verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. Alright? Given unto the Gentiles. It's talking about those Romans, alright? Not actually Israelite foreigners. Not Israelite foreigners. It's talking about the Gentiles. Next verse. And the holy city shall they tread under foot 40 and 2 months. Alright, so the actual temple, the literal temple, okay? The heathen are going to get that. Alright, and they did have that. When you go into I believe it's the wall of Titus. I may be wrong about that. The Ark of Titus. All right, after Titus, okay, ran to the temple and sacked it. All right, and besieged Jerusalem. All right, 70 AD. He took our vessels. All right, and he took that money from the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, he took our money and our precious things and used that to build the Ark of Titus. All right, that's what those Edomites did. The so-called white man here today did. All right, back then. Okay. And the holy city shall they tread under foot 40 and 2 months. That 40 and 2 months. All right, you take 12 times 3. That's 36. All right, 12 months in a year times 3. That's a period of 350 years. All right, talking about how they tread upon us as a people. All right, 350 years, roughly from the time period of 1619. This is also prophecy. Right, this happened, okay? But it's also a prophecy, okay? 1619 to 1969, 1970, roughly when Abba Bivens came on the scene and told our people that we are Israelites. All right, that's why when you go back, we'll get that too in Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. You know, so it's the book of Hosea chapter 1, and we'll start at verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel, once again the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be the sand of the sea, which we are. You got so much of us, we're scattered among the other nations. You got some of us that may look like so-called Edomites. You got some of us that may look like so-called Japhites, Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders. You got some of us like Moabites. But as long as that line goes back to the seed line of the fathers, they're Israelites. Which I'm about to say, we'll maybe go into that too. It's like foreigners and other topics like that. You know, it just depends on how the spirit goes. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it said unto them, Ye are not my people. I say that again. In the place where it said unto them, Ye are not my people. Okay, what is that place where it said unto them, Ye are not my people? Here in America, they said these fucking Edomites, these fake Jews, they say that they're the Israelites, all right, which is a goddamn lie, all right? Because you can ask some simple questions. What does Jew mean? All right? Where does the word Jew come from? Okay? Where did the northern kingdom go? Explain that. They won't. Every single fucking fake Jew you talk to down here, you ask him, okay, what tribe are you from? Oh, Levi. The fuck? Levi is more than one tribe than just Levi. All right, Levi. Okay, the Levites, which are, you say, lawyer in the Paleo Hebrew, which means join unto me. That's where you get the word lawyer, because back in the day, back in the ancient world, the so-called Levites, all right, the tribe of lawyer, all right, they carried out the law. They were the judges. All right, when there was an issue, we came to the Levites. We brought the issue to them, and they handled it. All right, but now we're all technically Levites. We're all that priesthood. All right, which we can go into that too. That we're a nation of kings and priests. Hold on. Kings. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10. And have made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Now, has this happened yet? Of course not. All right, this is talking about the kingdom. All right, this hasn't happened yet. When have the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans become kings and priests and started ruling the earth? All right, that didn't happen yet. That's called a prophecy. All right, pro meaning before, like something protruding. Before, facade meaning to speak. So you put it all together. Prophecy means to speak before. All right, the book of Daniel, chapter 11. Now, Daniel was prophesying about events that came 200 years after him. All right, go to Daniel chapter 8. Daniel was preceding events that came hundreds of years after him. All right, he didn't even get to live to see Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes come on the scene. All right, so how do you people explain that? All right, moving on. This hasn't happened yet. All right, that's why you read the book of Daniel chapter 7. All right, when we're given that rod of iron to rule the nations. All right, every single nation on this planet Earth, all right, so-called Japhetic people, all right, Edomites, so-called white man, they're gonna rule under us. They're not gonna rule under us. My bad. They're gonna be our tributaries. They're gonna be our slaves. All right, that's the fake image of so-called Jesus Christ. That's not his name. All right, the letter J is not in the original Hebrew. Okay, Yiddish is a fake language made up of Germanic languages. All right, made out of Latin. All right, that Yiddish is a fake language. Them Jews, those fake Jews that are in Israel to this day, all right, they're not supposed to be down there. They're Edomites. All right, these are the true Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. All right, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. All right, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. All right, which cannot be numbered, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it said unto them, "You are not my people." What is that place? Down here in America. All right, these Edomites, these so-called white people, they say to me, "Oh, you're black. You're African." All right, we're not African. This is that place where it said, "You are not my people." Let's go see what the Most High has to say about that. All right, there it shall be said unto them, "You are the sons of the living power." All right, that's what we are. All right, these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are precious to the Most High. All right, we're not no Egyptians. We're not no Hamites. All right, we're the real Israelites. All right, going back into it. We'll actually go back to what we're going into before. So back into the news. U.S. Supreme Court denies request by New York City school teachers to block COVID-19 vaccination mandate. All right, now if America is a so-called Christian nation, a so-called nation that follows the scriptures, all right, why are they forcing people to go get needles inside them? The scriptures say that you're not supposed to make any cuttings in your flesh. All right, what do needles do before they pierce the flesh? All right, they have to cut and get into it. All right, we'll get that in the law. All right, so cutting in flesh. This is the book of Leviticus Chapter 19, verse 28. You should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. All right, and that's a heathen custom, making cuttings in your flesh for the dead. All right, those Hamites down there in Africa, South Africa, Sub-Saharan, as well as scattered throughout North and West Africa, all right, they do that. They make cuttings in their flesh for the dead. That's why you see these so-called Africans, they got little lines in their chest. All right, the word Africa, that name Africa, comes from Scipios Africanus. All right, now forgive me, so fucking busted up ass Edomite was standing there watching. But hey, I don't give a fuck because they can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Alright? And low key, I mean, you never know. That guy could have been an Israelite. Maybe what he was hearing, he was liking what he was hearing. You know? But hey, if he ain't got no questions, even if he had a question, I got to finish my point. Alright? And then I'll let him talk. Because that's how you have order. Okay, that's how we have a productive and orderly environment. Alright? Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. You should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Most High. You should not make any cuttings. Alright? When you have a fucking vaccination, what does that have to do? That is to cut into the skin. When you get a fucking vaccination, right? These fake ass vaccines, right? Sorceries, okay? They have to cut and prick into your skin. So I'll read it again. Alright, for you heathens that are listening, alright? This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. You should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Alright? What is this government doing? Trying to make our people do cuttings in their flesh. Alright, and that main cutting, the main thing they want to put inside of us is that MOB. Alright, the MOBT, the Windows 19 poker chip. Like that chip. They want to chip all our people up. Alright? It's over and over and over. It keeps getting brought up in so-called classes in school, all right, that that thing is not the chip. It may be actually Salakia, little slip of the tongue there. It may be, but I doubt it. All right, because they already have it in the Pentagon, they already have it ready. All right, so why would they put it in this little experiment that they're doing? Now, did they have nanomachines in it? Yeah. So could it be an experiment? Yeah. But is it the real MOBT? No. Is it a precursor? Yeah. Will they come together in a package deal? Yeah, more than likely. But back into it. Yeah, a group of New York City teachers won't be getting the legal relief they sought from an order requiring them to be jabbed up against the 19, as the U.S. Supreme Court has summarily denied the request to block the mandate. Alright, so, you know, that's why the scriptures also say this. Unrighteous decrees. That's why the scriptures say this. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Alright, who are the people that decree unrighteous decrees? Alright, that write unrighteous decrees. These so-called white people, so-called Edomites. Alright, and this is just an example of that. Alright, people should have the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies. Alright, and they're not even supposed to be doing that. That's inhumane to force people to jab and prick open their skin. You know, as I always bring out, you know, the Most High has created medicines out of the earth. We're not supposed to be taking all these fucking drugs and chemicals that these hospitals, that these Edomites, so-called white man, be given to us. Alright, it's not meant for us. People have something called an immune system, and they're supposed to use it. Alright? People are supposed to get sick so then their body can recover and they can become stronger. Okay, but this is all witchcraft and sorceries put out by these Edomites. Alright, this is further proof of Job 9 and 24. Alright, that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Alright, these Edomites, they're in control of the earth. Alright, so-called American white man has over 800 military bases scattered across the entire planet Earth. Alright? Name any other nation of people that have that. Alright, not even the Russians have as many military bases as America. Alright? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Why is it woe unto them? Alright, because their judgment is going to be nuclear destruction. They're going to be destroyed. We can read about that, you know. We can read about that in the book of Revelation. We'll just quote it real quick because I know this one off the top. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and abominable, talking about our people first and foremost, our 2/3. Okay? Well, let's see what's going to happen to them. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers, our people are murderers. Alright? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Are you niggas out there, you spics? You be killing your own people. Real men don't kill their own people. Alright, you drug dealers, alright, selling drugs to our own people. Alright? Oh, you say, oh yeah, the Edomites. Yes, the Edomites did put the drugs in our community. But you damn niggas don't have to go sell it to our own people. You Spicks don't have to sell it to our own people. You Jakes don't gotta do that. Alright? But instead, you wanna be rappers. You wanna do fucking rap music. Rapping about killing your own people. Rapping about killing your own brothers. Alright? Then when people like me come out here, right, the Most High set up, alright, to tell you who you really are, you laugh at us. You scorn at us. That's why there's going to be no promise to you. There's going to be no mercy to you in the time of Jacob's trouble. There's going to be no mercy to you when those missiles fly off and come down to this country. You're going to be burned with nuclear fire, along with the heathen that you so love so much. But the only thing that's going to be different for you Israelites, for you Israelites that don't want to repent, that you are going to come back to the kingdom. But you're just going to come back on the second go-round. Meaning what? You're going to come back as our children. You won't have the same amount of governing or power as we will. Alright? This is going to be order in the kingdom. On that number. Alright? It's going to be the Most High, Yahweh Shai, King David, the house of David, the 144,000. Okay? And then under that will be more Israelites, Israelite foreigners with them. Okay? And boom. That's order. And under them, the heathen. So-called Edomite. Alright? Not so-called Edomite. The Elamites. Ammonites, Japhites, all of the nations on the planet Earth are going to be under our heel and be our slaves. Alright, and I said slaves, servant. Slave merely means servant. Alright? The murderers, whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars should have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. This is the second death. The first death came by water. The second death will come by nuclear fire. They got so many different types of nuclear bombs out here. It's really too hard to even to mention all of them. You got nuclear bombs that explode midair. You got nuclear bombs that dig into the earth and then explode. You got nuclear bombs that split up and create other bombs, and other bombs come out of it. Alright? But that's going to be the judgment that's going to come to you Edomites. To other nations. To you Israelites that don't want to repent. Because we came out here week in, week out. You people did not listen. You people wanted to be niggas. Listen to fucking rap music, listen to Pop Smoke all the fucking day, man. How many times you can listen to Pop Smoke, Dusty Low Kane, all these dumbass fucking rappers, man? Alright, repent and keep these commandments so you don't die. But that's all I wanted to bring out on that. But yeah, there was actually something else I wanted to bring out on that. You know, this is Bloomberg.com. New York health workers win religious exemption to jab mandate. Alright? Federal appeals panel temporarily allows for the exemptions. Alright, so you people may think, oh, there's an exemption to taking that juice, to taking that jab. Alright? But that's only a temporary exemption. Eventually they're gonna cut that shit off. Alright, so you people out there who are really for it, will go ahead and get it, That's how scriptures work, man. That's just how the spirit works. I'll just be talking, and then I'm just like the edification just comes out. It's the book of Revelation, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. To you Israelites out there. You cannot serve the Most High and serve Mammon. Mammon is the false god of money. Okay, so you cannot serve the Most High and then serve the American white man at the same time, taking his vaccines, his abominations, and then come over here and serve the Most High. You gotta pick one. You cannot serve both. You cannot come out here going to fucking college, alright, and think you're gonna have a good life, and then come out here and serve the Most High. It don't work that way. You gotta choose one. Why, the book of Sirach. Alright, we're all good. That's why the book of Sirach say this. The book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation. When you come into this truth, you're going to have vexation, you're going to have temptation. But the Most High is dealing with you, He'll keep you out of it. Alright, we'll just go ahead and get that too. All right, first and foremost, you got to be Israelite. All right. Well, so-called Jesus Christ, so-called Jesus, came here to save the Israelites. All right, Yahweh Shai came to save the Israelites. You can read about that in Matthew 1 and 21. He shall save his people. All right, Yahweh Shai did that. He saved his people. He brought us out and brought us back to laws and commandments back then. All right, and then now again, in this time period, Abba Bivin to us. If you can accept it, Elijah the Baptist coming back. Not Elijah the Baptist. Elijah, aka John the Baptist, the same thing because Elijah is John the Baptist in the reincarnation. Okay, coming back, restored all things, told us again that we are Israelites. And so when we go to Hosea 1 and 10, all right, in the land will be told you are not the people, not my people. They should be told you are the sons of living power, which we are doing. I want to stop on that number. We're out here, we're telling you who you really are. And if you listen, all right, good for you. But if you don't, you're fucked. This is the book of Revelation Chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. All right? What is that hour of temptation? All right, let's read the end. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, everybody. All right, but mainly Israelites. All right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, it's going to try everyone, 2/3 and 1/3. Okay? But the Most High is dwelling, what you're talking about, that hopeful elect. All right, of that number, the sincere Akim out there are as well. All right, the Most High is going to keep you and protect you in that terrible day. All right, those terrible days. You know. So the main temptation that it's talking about is that RFID. All right, that shit that they want to put and give to our people and make our people tick. All right, but the Israelites, the hopeful elect, are not going to be the ones to take it. All right, they're gonna give their lives. It's like I'm all over the place today, but that's how the Spirit goes. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and we'll start at verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right, we are hated by all nations. We're hated by our own people. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they hate us. All right, that's biblical prophecy. Why? Because we're telling the truth. All right, and they can't take it. All right, and they are going to kill us. All right, they're going to kill us and afflict us. All right, in these latter days. Why? Some of us, not all of us, but some of us, a sizable amount of us, are going to be killed for this truth and be martyrs. All right? Why? All right, because once again, it's biblical prophecy. All right, it's biblical prophecy that has to go down that way. All right, that we have to perish for the testimony. Okay, that's our order. That's our commandment. We're commanded to stay strong. All right? There's a scripture I'm thinking of.